Vacations are one of the only times in life that we get to step outside of our mundane day-to-day lives and see the world. Americans famously only get 2 weeks of vacation time, 3 if you're lucky, so many tend to use it to the fullest. In America, if you've got the money, honey, you can have nearly whatever you want. However, there are several places scattered across the globe that would rather Americans just not come around. For whatever reason, these places have put up extreme bans on American tourism. For others, it's common knowledge not to venture there, or you could be in serious trouble. 1. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has always been a country difficult to visit and one to avoid for purely touristic purposes. However, this past July, travel advisory for Saudi Arabia moved to a level 3, reconsider travel. This is due to the threat of missile and drone attacks on civilian facilities. Exercise increased caution in Saudi Arabia due to terrorism. Or just don't go there right now. Saudi Arabia is one of many countries affected by the ongoing tensions. 2. Cuba. There has been a shift in the relationship between the United States and Cuba. American travelers to Cuba must fall into one of the following categories: people-to-people travel, or travel for the transmission of informational materials. Then, you have to get a visa through the Cuban government. While travel isn't expressly forbidden, it is a little trickier than just purchasing a plane ticket. Obtaining the correct documents and permissions to visit Cuba can take months. We all know waiting for the government to send you information and documents moves at a snail's pace, let alone dealing with 2 different governments at once. There's still a lot of regulation from both ends around traveling to Cuba. Hopefully, America and Cuba will sort out their differences in the future so people can visit this beautiful island. 3. Iraq. There are American citizens in Iraq, but you might not want to go through what they did to get there. As of October 22, 2023, Iraq is at a level 4, do not travel. In plain and simple terms, do not travel to Iraq due to terrorism, kidnapping, armed conflict, civil unrest, and Mission Iraq's limited capacity to provide support to U.S. citizens. If and when tensions ease and levels return to normal, decades of war have done a number on the entire country. There are still untouched places. However, the displacement of people and lives has had serious impacts on the country's urban areas. 4. Somalia. There are so many hurdles to face when trying to visit Somalia. To go there, you need both a sponsor and invitation letter from someone in the country. Besides that, the country is at a level 4 currently due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, health issues, kidnapping, and piracy. It's no wonder Somalia is the second least visited country on the planet. Let's say you do actually get into Somalia, the crime in the country is such an issue that your time there will mostly be spent looking over your shoulder. 5. Iran. Since there isn't an Iranian embassy in the United States, you'll have to use the Pakistani embassy in Washington. However, travel to the country is all but non-existent due to tensions in the Middle East. Currently sitting at a level 4, do not travel to Iran due to the risk of kidnapping and the arbitrary arrest and detention of U.S. citizens. Exercise increased caution due to wrongful detentions. Quote, during more normal times, the political struggle over land between Iran and Israel has affected the entire area. Tourism in the area is highly regulated and controlled. 6. Syria. When you are taking your religious journey, you will have to skip this section of the Holy Land. Getting a visa from Syria has no definite time frame, so it could take years if they do accept your application. Syria has experienced active armed conflict since 2011 and recent events have escalated the threat. Similarly to Iran, do not travel to Syria due to terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, and risk of unjust detention. 7. Afghanistan. You can visit Afghanistan, but you'll need to enlist in the military. Afghanistan is another country very affected by the war in the Middle East. Most of Afghanistan is under military control, and there is ongoing firefighting. Probably not the best place to plan a relaxing vacation. As of December 18, 2023, Afghanistan reached a level 4. Do not travel due to terrorism, risk of wrongful detention, kidnapping and crime. 8. North Korea. It is actually possible to visit North Korea, but only technically. All U.S. passports are invalid for travel to, in, or through the DPRK unless specially validated for travel under the authority of the Secretary of State. Special validations are granted in very limited circumstances. But don't go there. It's a level 4 due to the continuing serious risk of arrest and long-term detention of US nationals. We're not sure when North Korea will return to a safer level, but if and when it does, sending off paperwork overseas for approval is a lengthy process that may or may not happen. 9. Russia. Due to the unprovoked full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russian military forces, the potential for harassment and the singling out of US citizens for detention, the arbitrary enforcement of local law, limited flights, the embassy's limited ability to assist US citizens, and the possibility of terrorism, Russia is currently a level 4 as of September 5, 2023. US citizens residing or traveling in Russia should depart immediately.